G'day guys, welcome back to Arthur's videos. Okay, have I got another video for you guys, you know what I mean? But let me get my thoughts together. Alright, so you know what the description is up the top. You know what time it is? Yeah man, it's Yum Cha time. Here we go, we got the cup, we got all the sponsors and all this stuff. There's the bottle, the old JMO's going, look at that, it's halfway down. All right, I'm pouring it in the glass. Oh, the cup, you know. So there it is, there's the pour, mate, there it is. Ready, guys? Cheers. Okay, all right. I got this a couple of months ago. I told you guys, I got a lot of these machines to repair. They take time, man. They're not easy, you know. Like, remember the last video where that a Sprint, I think, packed up on me while I was trying to show you guys. There was something in where the handle was shorting out. That's why we went hoobie-jeebies, you know. But I'll make a video explaining more about how the boards work. Okay, so what I'll do now is this one here. I got in. It was pretty okay, you know what I mean. It wasn't fucked, you know what I mean. So you can see the bed sheet with the see-through Japanese panties, you know, you can sort of see what's teasing you, you know, and the bed sheet with all the stains and all that, you know. All right, I'm going to reveal it, okay. This is not, I have not seen one of these, okay. I've seen a similar one without the stand. This is on a stand, but the other one that I saw was just a stand, was a like countertop, you know what I mean. So here it is, I'm revealing it, removing it, the Japanese see-through panties. Have a look at that, man. Have a look at that, okay? Check that out, you know what I mean? How nice is this, you know what I mean? And all I did with these, I got some, here's one of my rags. I got some metal polish, and I just sit there rubbing, you know? The machine, okay? And what happened was, when I got this machine, this strip here, was this. Someone's replaced it with this. You know, you can sort of see the surface rust in that. So I went over to my mate Mike, you know, the sheet metal man. I said, can you put me something else here? And he did. He made this for me. And instead of having the screws showing through there, he's welded them from underneath. So you see how these guys put the holes in this. So he put them in there to make it better. But you know what this is? This is what it is. This is what it's supposed to look like. All right? See that? It says Nevada, Aristocrat Nevada, and the light shows through that. So someone's broken that. But you see this one here? I'm going to go to this guy's place and make another video on this machine. See how his light, the panel lights up? So with the lights, so you can sort of see the payout. Check that out. You know, how nice is that font? I'm going to hold it there for you guys. How nice is the font? So yeah, so this is called a Nevada. Oh, and this, you remember these wheels? These are the metal ones. I did a video on this mechanism. Go check the other videos, what I've done. These are metal. This one here is plastic. Okay, so I'm going to take the tripod. I'm going to do the drive-by. Now check that out. See, the head box on this is different to his, okay? This is another head box. Check that out, all right? Check that out. I'm going down so you guys can sort of see it, you know what I mean? Now check that out, okay? See how the coin tray is? That's got the little stand there. Go down, have a look at it. Check that out, you know. You don't remember the other one, the Super 22? It had a yellow platform. This is, it's got a black platform. All right, hang on, look at that. Hang on, I'll hold the camera. Okay, there it is. That's the house box, you know. So what I did is, I found a tray I stole it from my missus. Okay, I left one of these towels in this for this guy here so he can polish it all up, basically, you know. So I got one of these stupid locks from the Chinese site, you know what I mean? So that way if they lose the key, I love these people. Oh yeah, man, we've got a key, we put it somewhere, we don't know where it is. Oh mate, you can't lose it if you hang the key on the back of the machine, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, you used to go to the toilet and they used to give you this big bloody tag with this key on it. How are you going to lose it? This machine, how can you lose it, basically, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's what this is, you know what I mean? And another thing is, this had no fluoros, they're all blown. So I actually got a box of fluoros for these because they're an odd size. They're an 8 water, basically they are. So I'll try to get my thoughts together, man. Okay, you know, the other thing is, these are plastic wheels. Yeah, man, we saw the last video where you rolled them off and you broke them. That's the same machine. This is the same era of machine of those. But my 3D printing guy actually has made them. I've got to test them out. He's actually printed them all up. I've got another guy who did the title strips. Mate, they look fucking awesome. So I'm going to put it back to mechanism, see how they spin, basically, you know what I mean? But I'll show you. I'll show you what the head box looks like. Hang on, I'll take it up. I'll show you what the head box looks like. So there you go. All right, you see that? I forgot to mention. You remember the Sprint? It was the same. So they're using the same mechanism from these era to the Sprint to the 80s. So this is mid 60s, 70s, whatever they are. Okay, so there you go. That's what that looks like in the head box, basically. You know what I mean? So yeah, they're not stupid. So they're using what they had to make more machines. Don't forget, they're making fucking thousands of these things, basically. You know what I mean? So this has done a lot of Ks. I'm not bullshitting you. I've done a lot of Ks. You know what I mean? And a lot of the bits was worn out, basically. You know what I mean? Inside the machine, especially around here. You know, it's worn out a bit. You know what I mean? So as I said, I put a lot of effort into all of them. You know what I mean? So yeah, let me put it in. You know, there you go. Yeah, check that out. You know, another one from the set. You know what I mean? Oh, check. Oh, what? I see 2 10s. So 2 10s pays 3 coins, basically. You know what I mean? So yeah, 3 coins. There you go, 3 coins. You know. So the thing's working perfectly with the payout over here. But my arm. Yeah, man, you got a fascination with arms, mate. This arm, okay. This arm, okay. I made it spin backwards nicely. You know what I mean? See, sometimes it might snag around here because this mechanism in here is worn out a little bit. So when the coin comes into here, okay, the way the system works, this lever goes back, this arm pushes it back into here, this one lifts that up for it to turn around, basically, you sort of see. Okay, I'll move the tripod in closer so you guys can sort of see what I'm trying to explain to you. I've explained it many times. So have a look. Coin goes in, falls down. This arm will go across like that. Okay, now it's going to jam up because I actually pushed it into position, basically, you know. So yeah, see, it's jammed up. So what you're going to do, you got to put it back to its position. You can't cheat with it, you know what I mean? So let me push it back up here. All right. See, won't do it, you know. See, so I got it jammed up. So you can't cheat the bloody mechanism, okay? Oh, fuck it. Where is it? Push it back into there. There it is. Let me get back into there, okay? So that's what you do, because I cheated. So it's got to wait for the coin, then you can pull it down. You see what I mean? All right, I'll explain again, all right? See, it sits there, it rests there, basically. So when your arm pulls down, this lever is going to come down, push the coin, the other one falls into here, pushes this into the new spot, basically. Then the arm will go, basically. See how the system works? So if it jams up around here, all you got to do is turn that clock around, lift this arm up a bit, and you can unclock it, basically. So that's where it is. This here is the main coin mix section, you know what I mean? Basically how it works, basically, you know? So, yeah, man, we get the point, man. We get the point. No, seriously. A lot of people remove this, okay? They remove that and that. But as I said, this is still complete. But what do you do of the, how it's, dude, work out the sums from the age of the machine. Yeah, work it out. You know what I mean? See how long it is? Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so you got basically how that works. But this one here, what they did, I was going to say dickheads, what they did is they pulled that out and they broke the casting here. So what I had to do is I had to put some cable ties here, trying to work out how to solve this problem from this moving. because there's a little arm in there that flicks the coins into the house box, but this has got there's no coins in this because I'm going to transport it with no coins in the chute. But don't pull this out, man, because there's a grub screw on the side here. I'll get my finger out of the way. There's a little grub screw here, okay? There's a screw there that holds it so you can pull it backwards so you can service it in there, you know what I mean? Oh, that's a kebab stick, you know, where you could put your bloody meat on there for the barbecue. But, yeah, so there, they broke this off the casting, and I didn't want to hack it, so I said, all right, I'll do a cable top job here, because I don't want to destroy things, basically, with this machine. So at the same time, I went and got these from these are quarter. Okay, these are quarter thread by 25 mil long, if you want to know. I've got these thumb screws in there to put back into the mechanism. Okay, they sit here at the moment. See how they sit? They go in there for the location pin so they move. But when I'm going to transport it, I'm going to lay it down when I'm transporting this. I'm going to take it all out. But if you're transporting it upright, you just leave them in there, have them transported upright, basically, you know what I mean? But as I said to you, I love how this cabinet is because see how the coins will come into the tray? You know, check that out, you know what I mean? That other guy's one, which I'm going to film, doesn't have this base. It's just a standalone unit, you know what I mean? So, yeah. Yeah, let's see if I can win. Oh, 3 queens! Check that out. Check that out! 3 queens. Okay? Unbelievable. Sometimes you want to show a video of winning. So the 3 queens. I've dropped 10 pieces. The 3 queens. 3 queens paid out 14 coins. Okay? So, hang on, let's look at this. Okay. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Okay, because the hoppers run out, you know what I mean? So you can sort of see, at least I don't have to pull them out when I'm drawing. See how the mechanism's pulled back in again? I'll get my hand out of the way. Okay, see how it's sort of the sliders are working? Mate, they don't need grease. They need to be freeloaded because this was so caked up with so much grease inside. My wheel bearings don't have that much grease. So, as I said, strip down, clean up and that. And all they are is freeloading, you know what I mean? That's what they were coming out. They didn't have grease in there. You know, they might have a bit of lube here and there, like I said to other times in my other mechanisms. But, yeah, see how it worked? So, there you go, you know? Yeah, at least, as I said, now I don't have to pull out all the coins now out of it, you know? So, see? Yeah, see how I marked them? So I remember where they are? So instead of going up like that, you go on an angle, okay? So you don't, as I said, always mark it. See, I went like this on an angle, so you could sort of put, if you go upwards, you could mix them up. But if you go diagonally, you could go this way anyway, on a cross. That way, if you pull the sliders out, you could always put it back in the same position. They're critical, these. They are really, really critical to make sure they're correct, basically, you know what I mean? Yeah, so that's, as I said to you, you know, another one from the dead because the guy goes, hey, man, how's it going? How's it going? You know what I mean? Oh, another one I didn't fucking mention. Okay, check this guy out. Okay, this has got a reserve button. Oh, it's not in camera view. There it is there. It's a reserve button, you know what I mean? And I said to the old bastard from, you know, the old bastard, I said, man, why did they do an aftermarket, they drill the hole, they put this little button there on a timer, okay? And I said, what are they doing? Arguing, arguing, you know, who's going to get onto the machine, like if you're going to go to the toilet for a slash, whatever. They press the button, so they walked off, so the next guy goes, ooh, it's reserve, someone's coming back, you know, so they don't have a fist fight, you know what I mean? And he goes, yeah, that was an afterthought. Some guy must have drawn up in a coaster. He must have seen in a pub or a club there. They must have seen they're arguing. And he went back to their boss, Aristocrat, and goes, hey, man, I think we've got to put a little button there telling someone's coming back to play the machine. It's 10 cents, guys. It's 10 cents, you know. The maximum, have a look at the payout table. I'm going to zoom here. Check out the payout table. The other day I got 3 kings, okay? I'm not full of shit. You just saw me. I got 3 queens now. Okay, I've got the 5. I've got these ones, the 10s and the 9s. I get a lot of those. I've got a couple of jacks as well. So the whole lot's working fine. But look at the payout, 20 coins. Okay, so 20 coins at 10 cents is $2. You know what I mean? So you think about it, but what they did back in the day, they must have had a sign up the time. If you got the 3 aces, you would probably win $200, $100, $500. So whatever the club was, it'll make up whatever the jackpot would be, you know what I mean? But, you know, how nice is that as a cabinet, you know what I mean? So this guy's going to get it, he's going to have enjoyment back to life, you know what I mean? Have a look at that, you know what I mean? Seriously, you know what I mean? So check that out, you know what I mean? As I said, mate, I do these videos for you guys because you don't see these every day. And a lot of people appreciating it. I'm not making it up, man. A lot of people appreciating it, you know, the bits and pieces. But if I don't know, I'll ask, you know, it's the old question, ask. Like I asked the old bastard, you know what I mean? What the hell is that, you know what I mean? Because the other guy who's got the Nevada doesn't have that, you know what I mean? He's got a butt plug here. Okay, but doesn't have that. But I'm going to go do a video on his machine as well, and to see how's he's going with his mechanism. But these ones are the plastic ones, you know. His ones was metal, you know what I mean? So there, you know what I mean? It probably cost more money to do the metal ones and the plastics, you know. So yeah, so another one up and running again, you know what I mean? And all I did was what I keep saying is just a bit of metal polish, man. You know, just need a bit of metal polish, a bit of elbow grease, and look how clean it is. You can sort of see the reflection in there, you know what I mean? So, guys, like I normally say on my videos, I've missed out a couple of them, you know, pinball machines, video games, poker machines, and that, and Dr. Love, you know. Guys, thanks for watching another of my videos, you know what I mean? Cheers, guys, cheers. If you like, give me the thumb or the finger, as I said. Down the bottom, I'll put some more information, whatever I find down the bottom. Okay, cheers, guys, cheers.